Every sign, every zodiac sign has its own characteristics, has its own archetype, has its own personality, so to speak. And everyone, when we're born, the planets are in different areas of the signs. They're all in the sky in different areas. So depending on where those planets land in these different archetypes, so to speak, like I'm an Aries, so my sun is gonna have the Aries characteristic.
Hey, so I was thinking, like, how would I explain to someone who really has no idea about the stars or astrology? How would I explain to them what is going on? So I'm going to try to do that. It might not be perfect, but if you can bear with me, I appreciate it. If you're interested. First, let's just start here. This is a big Christmas tree that I drew, right? And I have Earth at the bottom of this Christmas tree. This is Earth. And then you can see the bottom of Earth, we have this, I guess, circle of the zodiac sign going around us. And then up, these are supposed to be representative of each of the planets, right? So each planet has their own orbit in their own area, and they all land in different areas of these signs, right? So if this is the moon is right over here in Scorpio, and that's the basic starting point of like, okay, what does this mean? How does this have any effect to what my planet is over here? Trying to work on it. If you think about the zodiac circle as this circle that just kind of goes around us like a merry-go-round, right? And depending on where the planets are, so the sun, wherever the sun is in this area, it's beaming out. So here's the thing. When you're pregnant and you have allegedly it goes that like the 3 months that you were not in your mother's womb, because they say it like basically as I'm conceived, I'm going through all the different months. So I'm going through Taurus, I'm going through Gemini, I'm going through Cancer. And as I'm in the womb, I'm collecting all these cell salts, right? But for the 3 months that I wasn't in the womb, those are the 3 cell salts, quote unquote, they say that people are deficient in. So when you are pregnant, let's say that you get pregnant in Aries in April, right? So you're pregnant for 9 months. During this 9 months that your baby is in the womb, when you're in Aries, you are receiving sunlight and minerals, and you're literally manifesting through the sun and these spiritual luminaries, everything needed in that sign of Aries for your baby. So for instance, I know this is getting a little difficult, but Aries people, because Aries is affiliated with the head, because all signs are also attributed to body parts. So Aries is the head, right? And so while you are in Aries, if you're pregnant, your baby is getting all of the nutrients that the sun would put into this sign of Aries. All the traits, all the characteristics, all the salts, all the minerals. Because if you think about it, we are just salts and minerals at the end of the day. What creates us? The sun and the plants and all that. That's what I think. Going through these different 12 signs while you're in the belly, while you're in your mother's womb, you are collecting everything from those signs that they provide from the sun, the minerals, the salts. But there's also, okay, this is getting a little advanced. So if I'm here and I get born here, I was not in the belly for these 3 months, right? I have a video on this on YouTube I can send, but so if we are to say that your child was not in your womb for these 3 months of your pregnancy or whatnot, then the word on the street, I guess, is that your child would be deficient in the minerals and cell salts that would have been provided in the Capricorn, or would have been provided in Aquarius, and would have been provided in Pisces, which I actually do know the specific salts for each of these. I just don't have it in front of me. And let's just keep it basic, right? If we're to understand that we have the zodiac wheel, right? And in each zodiac, we have 12 signs. So we have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, blah, 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 blah. Each of these signs, though, also is divided by elements. So Aries is fire, Leo is fire, Sagittarius is fire. Well, Pisces is water, Aquarius is air. You see what I'm saying? So they're broken up by the elements as well. They're also broken up by houses. Okay? So like I showed you here, imagine this little thing as being housed. They're houses. Bear in mind, this is around us, right? And if you have the sun sitting over here and, the moon sitting over here, then you're able to determine based on your specific chart or whatever you're looking at, okay, well, if the sun is over here and it's in Capricorn, this is my 10th house. So with Capricorn as my 10th house and the sun in there, how does that affect me? Or for example, here, you find your moon is in Gemini, and Gemini is your second house. Well, second house deals with finances, deals with work. So maybe your moon has aspects that are related to that area of your life. So my biggest point here is that all of the zodiac signs, the 12 of them, are all in their own individual houses in the quote unquote sky, so to speak, right? So then that's where the planets come in now. So this is where shit. So if we were to say this is the house of marriage, right? Then whatever planets and stuff would land in there would tell you, okay, in this theme, in this house theme of marriage and of contracts and legality, what is going to most likely be happening or in your favor or not. It can really be a lot of different things. I don't want to say anything certain. I'm just trying to give a basic idea. So not just that, but every sign, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius, they're all affiliated to with a specific house. So, we say, let's go in order. Aries, Taurus, Gemini. So Aries is essentially a theme of the first house. So for instance, if I looked at your chart and I saw, okay, you have Taurus in your first house, right? It still kind of has an Aries element to it. It's of how are you going to be seen? How are you going to get in people's spaces? How are you going to kind of adapt or put in this? It's almost an energy that gets implanted into this first house. It's like an Aries energy. That might be a little bit too much, but let me give you a little breakdown of the houses. So again, taking the planets, taking the signs out of it, there are 12 houses, just like 12 signs. And the houses represent different areas of life. So as I just said, the first house represents how you look to other people, right? Second house deals with finance, could deal with job, could deal with securities. Third house, siblings, short-term travel. Fourth house is home and life family. It could be related to a mother, the person's mother. The fifth house has to do with children, romance, fun, travels. Sixth house is everyday life, and it's also health. The health things that you're going to be seeing throughout your life. The seventh house is legal contracts, soul contracts, just any kind of contracts. Usually marriage you find there, legal contracts. The eighth house deals with intimacy, death, and like secret occult stuff. What you like to study or what you may inherit. I mean, it could also, I'm just going to keep going. The ninth house is dealing with higher learning and long-term travels. The 10th house deals with your career. The 11th house deals with your friends, what friends you're going to have. The 12th house is your hidden life or your hidden passion, your hidden desires. It's also sometimes known as the house of the bed, because a lot of people with 12th house, they just want to be in bed all the time. And it's the house of hidden enemies. You will see. But so just a basic breakdown. I hope that this is starting to make a little sense, is that, like a little example, right? So if we're to take the sun is a planet that we are applying to this chart, and the sun acts as you. How do people see you? How are people perceiving you or whatnot? So if your sun, let's just do me. If your sun is in Aries, so let me try an example. So let's just say, for instance, your sun, which is you, how people see you to the world, like how's your overall personality. Let's just use me for example, okay? Let's just say, my sun is in Aries, right? My sun's in Aries, but it's not in the first house. It's in the 10th house. So let's say that, like, it's not over here in the first house of, about me and whatnot. It's over in this 10th house. That would maybe give the impression that this person is perceived or wants to be, or has the personality of someone that really wants to be a hard worker and that commits everything to their work. That's the 10th house. 10th house is work. And so, depending on where your other planets and other stars lie, a lot of this can show you just what is going on here. It's very, very interesting. And I'm not saying 100% that I'm just showing you my studies. Another thing that I, kept up here as a note is the planets and typically what their theme is or their archetype is, right? Saturn is normally the planet of restriction. Depends on where it is, what house it lies in, what zodiac sign it lies in. Remember, it's not just the house, it's also the zodiacs. So you could be in house 3 and your zodiac could be whatever it is, Leo, right? And so it's okay. Well, house 3 is about siblings, and that's Leo. Leo, the planet that runs Leo, is the sun. And so that's how it kind of applies. Hope that makes a little bit more sense. I'm not sure, but let me know if you have any questions. All right, so here's a book that I have, and it has a way better illustration than I would about the 12 houses, the 12 signs, what is in each of these signs that we get. Remember I said that, let's say you're pregnant and you're going through the months of the 9 months. It tells you the minerals, like what is the sun producing for you? What is the sun giving to you in nutrients and stuff? Okay, so for example, let's start at Aries, right? So first of all, Aries deals with the head, just like the illustration, right? And so it says that for Aries people, we may have issues with lower jaws, spinal cord, sensory nerves, the cerebellum, that's the head. But that the minerals that would be good for us to take is phosphate, right? So let's look at that a little bit deeper, right? Okay, so here it says that we're talking about Aries, and Aries is known as the Lamb of Gad or God, representative of the head or brain. The brain controls and directs the body, mind of man. It's also a receiver operated upon by angels or angles, celestial influences, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, it says that from the teachings of chemistry of life, we find the basis of the brain or nerve fluid is a certain mineral known as potassium phosphate or Cali-Phos. So basically it's saying people who are under the sign of Aries may lack or may need potassium phosphate or Cali-Phos. It's a mineral salt that is supposed to help the brain or nerve fluid because, like I said prior, every sign, Aries, is affecting a different part of the body. So Aries is the head. So that mineral, the Cali-Phos, is to help the head. But also, it even has an effect on salts that you're deficient in because, remember I said, think about it like this. If you're pregnant with a child, you're only pregnant for 9 months out of the year, right? So if if someone's born in Aries, right, then they didn't get those 3 months, they're lacking in 3 months of minerals from zodiac signs that they were not carried in, like they were not, their parents were not pregnant with them during those 3 extra months. And thus most people end up being a little bit deficient in their minerals and cell salts. And so this book not only breaks that down, but it goes through, okay, well, which salts you actually need or what minerals will actually support. It really is awesome. And it really goes into medical astrology and how, again, just want to say that not this whole astrotheology thing, it's all about the human representing the stars or the universe in a sense. And so, like for instance, Leo is a representative of the heart. So, but looking at the sign of Leo, which is the heart and the planet being the sun, it literally says that you want to look into phosphate of magnesium as something that may benefit your health. I'm really not giving any kind of medical advice or whatnot. I'm just reading what this says is that basically, because Leos they go through their salts in their body a lot faster than most, like the blood breaks down or consumes the salt more rapidly. Thus, they have more of a deficiency in magnesium. Hence, that's why magnesium may be a beneficial cell salt or mineral, right? So I hope that makes sense, but it goes for every sign. And this is also because Leo is affiliated with your heart. So it kind of makes sense because if it's saying that, those born under Leo, July 22nd to August 22nd, receive the heart vibrations or pulses of the quote unquote grand man. Is that the Adam Codman? That's for another day. With that being said, this phosphate of magnesium, because the Leo is constantly going through these salts faster than most because of it's affiliated with the heart and the pulses, right? Is that starting to make any sense? That this magnesium cell salt would be beneficial. And so to just briefly close, I hope I gave some kind of understanding as to how, we have 12 zodiac signs that we know of, right? And all of these zodiac signs each have their own characteristics, has their own archetype, has their own traits, right? So again, if you're under Aries, you're going to have the Aries traits and you're going to have the Gemini traits if you're under Gemini, and they all have these different characteristics and traits. So if you look at it broadly like that and then say, okay, now how do the planets and stars combine with this? You start to really connect the dots and see, wow, there might be something to this. I don't know. I think I'm just going to end it now. And if you have any comments or anything that you want to see me go over or have questions on, please let me know. And I'd be happy to go deeper into it.